Hello everyone, Equipment Warrior, and welcome to my build guide for my Frostbolt / Vortex build. This is an incredibly powerful build. It will do a lot of damage just blasting everything to small pieces. It also a decent PvP build and have good survivability, really good clear speed, and it's overall really fun to play. So I'm gonna go over my passive skill tree, the gear and the gems I'm using. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. So let's take a quick look at my passive skill tree. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'm also going to have a link in the description to where you can find my passive skill tree and look it up yourself. So let's get started. I started by taking the mana regeneration and life. I went for Sentry, Discipline and Training, Retribution, Amplify, Elementalist, Light of Divinity. I have Purity of Flesh, Serenity. I will take Arcane Potency because crit is really important in this build. I have a Yule here, which gives me increased spell damage and cold damage and even some mana regeneration. I went for Cruel Perception, Deep Thoughts. I have Anatomical Knowledge, Heart of Ice, Dark Arts, Annihilation, Blast Radius, Frostwalker, Occultist Dominion, Deep Wisdom, and Heart and Soul. I even went down to under the temple area to take combat stamina. I have a Yule here, Assassin's Haste, which are pretty nice. I have Shepherd. I have Potency of Will to increase the duration of my Vortex. I have this whole big life wheel here. I have Sentinel and Exceptional Performance. I'm also planning to go this way here to take Devotion. If you have any questions about the skill tree, feel free to ask me in the comments. And by the way, in my Ascendancy class, I ascend to Inquisitor, and I went for this path here. I took Righteousness, and I took Invisible Judgment. When you crit someone with Invisible Judgment, you will ignore the enemy's resistance. I also have Agony of Penetrate. When I ascend for the 4th time, I'm going to take Instrument of Virtue. So that's pretty much my passive skill tree. So let's move on to my gear and the gems I'm using. So let's take a look at the items I'm using. I'm gonna start with my weapons. I'm using 2 Divinarius to get the increased radius of area skills. It also have really good crit chance and really good spell damage. If you can't afford Divinarius, you can use a rare wand or dagger which have as high crit chance for spells as possible, spell damage and critical strike multiplier. It also are a really good idea to try to get some cast freedom as well. As a helmet, try to get a helmet with as high armor as possible. Also try to get some life and resistance you might need. For amulet, try to get an amulet which have as high life and resistance as possible, and if you can, try to get some spell damage and crit chance as well. Same thing with the rings, try to get the rings with as high life and the resistance you might need, and if you can, try to get some increased cold damage and crit chance as well. As for the boots, try to get some boots which have as high armor, life, and the resistance and movement speed as possible. For belt, again, try to get a belt with as high life and resistance as possible. When it comes to gloves, I'm using Malagura's Virtue, which are really good and give you a ton of damage. If you can't afford them, try to get a pair of rare gloves, which will give you life, armor, and resistance. As a chest armor, I'm using Carcassiac to get a really good boost to my AoE and to my area skill damage. If you can't afford a Carcassiac, or if you go for a staff like 10 Shiva instead for your weapons, you can use either Belly of the Beast or Khan's Heart. If you can't afford some of those, you can use a rare armor which give you as high armor and life and resistance as possible. And that's pretty much my gear. So let's take a look at my skill gems and support gem setups. Vortex are supported by faster casting, increased critical damage, increased critical strikes, and spell echo. My Frostbolt, it is supported by faster casting, spell echo, and lesser multiple projectiles. The auras and mana shells I'm using, I'm using Herald of Ice, I'm using Arctic Armor, and I'm using Assassin's Mark linked to Blasphemy, which means that my Assassin's Mark is actually an aura I have around me, so every enemy that comes close to me gets automatically cursed by Assassin's Mark. Also using one movement skill setup, which are Whirling Blades linked with faster attacks. I also have a cast on damage take setup, which are Constant damage taken, linked to Immortal Call and increased duration. And for the bandits, in normal I held Orc to get the 40% increased life. In Cruel I held Alira to get the cast speed. And in Merciless I just kill every one of them. So this has been my guide for my Vortex / Frostbolt build. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me in the comments. I will be happy to hear from you. And I thank you all for watching and have a nice day.